And welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch and be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunt Hangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, you must already be a member of Stunt Hangar Forum, or else the link to the show here won't appear. Now, if you're not a member, and you also have to be logged into Stunt Hangar Forum, but if you're not a member of Stunt Hangar Forum, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunt Hangar, will not approve you. Oh, by the way, as far as finding at the bench, it's there's a you go down past the open and you'll see live streams, and it's underneath in memory of our friends. Now you have to be logged in, like I said earlier, and you have to be a member for the at the bench link to appear. There's people who can go into Stunt Hangar without being a member, but you won't see the at the bench link. Now, if you're inclined to not come in to the show, but just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments right over here in the chat box during the live stream. And I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask the illustrious panel your question or state your comment. By the way, you only can do this during a live stream. Like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're watching this as a replay and you have a question you want to ask live, come back either the following Monday or following Friday, and you can do it during the live stream in the chat box right over here. Okay. Now, if you find Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. That helps the show grow. That helps so that when people go to their YouTube channel, their home feed, they'll see some recommended views on the right side of their home feed, and hopefully Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts or the Stunt Hangar YouTube channel will be a recommended view. Okay. Subscribe does not cost you anything to do that. Share, comments, all those engagements help the Stunt Hangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunt Hangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. I mean, that's not a lot. And by the way, I'm a member. I have the $4.99 come out of my own checking account each and every month. I don't miss it, and I suspect you won't miss it either. Plus, you'll be supporting your hobby. Hopefully that you're as passionate about this as I am. And if you are, you should be supporting us. Okay. It's just like the price of going to Starbucks and getting one of their fancy concoctions. Okay. Now, if you don't want to do the monthly excuse me, if you don't want to do one of the monthly subscriptions, you can do the super chat, which is right over here below the chat box. Or if you're watching this as a replay, not the live stream, but the replay, locate those three dots, click on that, and a sub menu will pop up, and you'll see super thanks. I believe it has a heart with $1 in it, and donate there. And hopefully you'll donate in relationship to what you're receiving. I hope you're receiving a lot of great information. I know that we have a lot of people here who have 50, 60 years experience. Sometimes we have a former national champion or a former world champion come in. So it's just incredible value for less than 17 cents a day. So please support. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube. Oh, by the way, when you're a member, you have access to member only videos. And so not all the videos are for public consumption. Some are private, some are public. And so you'll get access to those member-only videos. There are some good ones. There's some Al Raby videos and some other videos. Some of the shows are members only. So I want to make sure you understand you're going to get something in return for your $4.09. Then there's 2 tiers above that. If you are more fortunate, then you can donate as a super tipper, and I think that's I don't know, less than $15 or so a month. So if you can do that, that'd be great. Like I was saying, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And if you would locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which was a bucket list day for me to be at the Nationals with a really pretty plane that Sparky built. So he shot a video of me flying his Junar XL, which is beautiful and light, in my first official flight at the Nationals on the L-pad. That was like a bucket list day. I couldn't believe it. Amazing. And so I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. Now, I want to emphasize why we ask that, because we're trying to recruit young people. We are, we don't want us to go away and the hobby go away too. So we really need to replace ourselves with some young people. So we want the channel to be suitable for young people, young minds, and hopefully they'll get hooked on this, and they'll be able to continue this hobby to go, because it's a fantastic thing. I just can't tell you how it feels to actually have a plane you actually hold it. Unlike radio control, which is nothing wrong with radio control, but this, you actually feel the plane as you're flying it. So we want to recruit young people and see it. So we want to keep the languages, words and things, so that it's family friendly. Okay. Thank you very much. And with no further ado, I'm now going to post a link at Stunt Hangar Forum. Let me do that right now. Just bear with me for a second here, and hope everybody had a good weekend. And we're beginning to cook with gas here. Let me get this posted here. I actually had over the weekend I got infected with a virus in my computer. So I hope that doesn't give me any problem tonight. But yeah, I had all kinds of pop-ups saying you're infected, check here. Of course, I didn't click on that. I know better than that. So, but it seems to be working fine. And let me go to what I call the control panel. And by the way, on my home feed, I actually saw a video of Rusty. Rusty's the guy that used to host this before myself. I think, of course, the original host was Sparky himself. And then Rusty did it for some time. And I used to be in the gallery like some of my friends here that come in here. And it was neat. See, I actually watched as much as I could before I had to go, but it was pretty neat to see Rusty. And I recommend, check out the older videos, the ones that were prior to me. There's a lot of information there. I mean, it really is a lot of information there. I was, I think, the show I saw, they were talking about CompuServe. It's a software you can develop, ribs and fuselages and all kinds of stuff. John and Dennis Adamson were talking about that. So there's some good information, even in the older ones. Let me see here. And it's neat seeing everybody younger too. All right, so let me get this going. Looks like we have somebody in the chat box already. We have 9 concurrent viewers, 7 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please smash that. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. And even if you decide you don't like it, even that'll help. So it shows an engagement. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights says, yo, thank you, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. Gary Sinclair, who is a member of our YouTube channel, and he's also a monitor. He says, hi, everyone, like provided. And what is going on? Looks like Stuart is coming in here, but let's see what's going on here. Hey, Stuart, how's it going?
Good night, Charles.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. So, what you been up to?
Oh, still kind of, I don't know, working on bits and pieces here on different planes. So I got Len gave me a plane here. I'm gonna show you later when the guys come on. And
Okay, sounds good. And it's good that Lynn's doing that. I have planes too to help people out, but I don't want to see them just go and just fly at one time and crash. I want to wait till they can
yeah,
fly good enough that the plane will actually help them get to another level.
yeah, this is a foam one that I'm actually thinking of using for teaching my grandkids how to fly. It's a let,
How big is the wingspan?
oh, I don't know, I'm not sure exactly what it is, 2.5 feet.
Okay, yeah, bigger the better. The bigger the better, be more stable. And we have 12 concurrent viewers and 8 likes. So again, if you haven't hit the like button, please smash that. And don't forget the super chats. You can donate, help us out. Sparky uses the super chats and and the memberships to help offset some of the expenses of running Stunt Hangar. And he also gives me a little walking around change out of that too. I get you know, uh, I think YouTube takes 30% of the super chat. So you know, it's not a whole lot. We're not killing it. Don't think, oh, those guys, they're rich. Those other people on YouTube you see making lots of money. That they have millions of subscribers. We have, I think, 4,000 and change subscribers. So we don't make that kind of money. So it's we need your help. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, hit the notification bell and select all so that whether myself or Sparky comes on, you'll be notified and you'll be able to watch it live. Because the advantage of watching it live is, Sparky does a really good job of checking the chat while he's building and any questions you have. And it doesn't even have to be at that particular junction. It could be something totally different. I mean, as far as model aviation, and he will answer your question even if he's doing another operation. So make sure you hit the notification bell and select all, and watch the live shows as well as the replays. Let me see here. Okay, I'm back. You have my attention again.
So what have you been doing anyhow?
Um, I've been doing some paperwork. Unfortunately, I got some stuff I have to get done. I did do a little bit. I have a. It looks like a chipmunk, but it's not. It's a Sterling. I think it's a Sterling P-51 kit, and I've been working on that. It's already built. It's already been flown. Just need to the elevator. One of the elevators is loose, like as if I didn't build it. So the way it appears to me as if the person just put the one of the legs of the elevator horn into the balsa, and
Yeah,
just over time it's just created a slot. So
soft up.
yeah, so I'm gonna cut the it has these cloth hinges. I'm gonna cut it off, and I'm gonna basically make a box, for that wire to get into. So a plywood block box, so it can't do that again. And I'll probably go and do the other side, even though the other side is tight. I'm just gonna just fix it so that it can last for a long time. It's
Yeah.
a pretty good flying plane. I have some pictures of it, but not. I don't think I can get my hands on them easily. But it has an upright motor, so that's kind of interesting to see a chipmunk with a upright motor, and it's a little bit smaller, I think, than an actual chipmunk because it's actually a modified P-51. It looks like a chipmunk though. It looks like it's a SIG chipmunk kit. And the guy
Yeah.
did a good job of modifying it.
Hmm.
So that's
Well,
what I've been doing. I hope to get, and then we've been raining. It's been, you've heard about the flooding and stuff. It's been
yeah.
raining, but I've been fortunate. I'm not in any flood zone, so I haven't experienced anything like that. But it's prevented me from flying. And then, of course, I had the vertigo, most of last month, and that's gone. So
Good.
thank you. I'm looking forward to getting out there. I'm coming down with circulitis.
Yeah.
And the only prescription is to go out there and fly.
We see the sun out here, but it's only about 30 degrees. So
Wow.
it's like you kind of want to go out, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was 32 degrees a couple days ago. It got pretty cold down here.
Yeah.
I mean 38, excuse me, 38 degrees. That was pretty cold for us, Southern California.
Yeah. You don't get that kind of stuff often.
Let me
But
say hi to Howard. Hey Howard, how you doing?
Okay,
Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it.
nice to be here.
And thank you for the program you sent me. The updated one, the less embarrassing one. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to use that on my SV11 that I'm building.
Yeah, do it before you build it.
Right.
Best time.
Yeah, well, it's not completely built yet. I'm still need to build the fuselage. The wing is built, but the wing is just in two panels. So I'm still gonna put the control system in it, and so it'll be suitable. Looks like
Got it.
we have Gordon Delaney's here. Hey, Gordon, and you have some company I see there.
Yeah, this is my friend Rodney Works.
Hey, Rodney, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, sir.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
He's in the process of building the green box Nova.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a fun build. When I got back into the hobby, that's the first plane I built was a green box Nobler.
Yeah.
And then the second plane was a Twister, a franchise Twister. And I got back into the hobby. Those are the planes I built.
Well, when I was in it, I started with a Ruffy.
Nice.
No, it wasn't nice.
Well, maybe I'm thinking about Ted Fancher's Ruffy because actually
That's as much better than mine.
at the Golden State, actually was Ted Fancher asked me if I wouldn't mind helping him because he had to carry two planes to his vehicle.
Yeah.
And he said, "Go ahead and pick up the Ruffy," and I was like, it's just light and beautiful.
Well, mine didn't have much up and down.
Where's Hunt's up and down?
Not much. Not nearly enough to be doing a pattern, but I did a pattern anyway. Well, anyway, kneel down here so they can see you.
You have another chair for him?
Yeah.
No, that's okay. I'll be asked to leave here pretty soon.
Oh, okay, Rodney. So
Good.
you're gonna build a Nobler, so obviously you can fly, right?
Well, I learned in Japan how to fly, and I fly
Weird.
clockwise,
Okay.
but I do a wing over, and as I come out of the wing over, I grab the handle. Up is up, and down is down. So when I'm inverted,
it's always up.
I can't fly inverted.
It turned the handle over. As he comes over, he switches it.
Oh, I missed that part. So he turns the handle over. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But then he flies it left-handed.
Right. Wow.
Goes back over, he switches it back to his right hand. I said, no. We can't be doing that stuff.
It's kind of hard to be precise doing all that. And this is precision aerobatics that we try to do.
Yeah.
Well, I've got quite a few people that are willing to help me learn how to. I'm getting back into the hobby. I love the build. I got a whole hangar full of airplanes.
Oh,
And he does too.
Very good. That's good. And Ronnie, it doesn't, I mean, whatever you do, I don't want to make my audience feel you only have to compete, you only have to fly precision aerobatics. I mean, it's all about having fun.
That's true.
That's the most important thing. But so I know that some people think that that's all I think is important is just competing. That's what I strive to do.
Grateful enough that I'm in a group of some real nice gentlemen. It's a good group.
He finally says, gentlemen,
Oh, Gordon.
hey, little off the subject here. I got a new phone number.
All right. Well, if you want, text it to me.
No, I'm just going to tell you over the internet so everybody that knows me can write it down. You got a pen and paper handy?
Yeah.
All right. It's 801 682 8230.
All right, I got it.
So all you fine feathered friends out there that know me can call me now on my new phone number. I've been trying to get rid of all these Canadian pharmacy phone calls wanting to sell me Viagra. Hey, I get 10 phone calls a day from them. I've told them 9 times. I've been nice. I've been polite. I've been belligerent, rude, ugly, filthy. And I've even told them, well, I'm sorry, but he died a year ago. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. And then 5-10 minutes later, somebody else calls. Gordon, no, he just died about a year ago.
So,
Next
Gordon,
time,
you figure a case of it is enough for you, do you?
What's that?
You figure a case of it is enough? A case of Viagra is enough to suit you?
Oh, one would probably put me under.
Next time, tell them it's the police department.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
I'll go ahead and mute you. Go ahead. Take that. Hey, Bob. How's it going, Bob?
Going really good. Long time no hear.
I know.
Been since what? Yesterday?
I believe so. Yes. Yes. Yes, absolutely. So what you been up to?
Well, I went out flying a bit this morning and then the weather picked up and a student canceled. So I went and worked on Hitler's Revenge some.
Okay. So you didn't get any students at all? I know you had
Yeah,
two.
I had one.
So one
today.
dropped out and okay, good.
Yeah.
Glad that happened. Good for you.
But yeah, it was just to check on type anyway for an old student. He just bought an airplane yesterday. So no big deal.
Nice. So this was a plane you haven't flown ever? This particular
Oh yeah, I've got probably 1,500 hours in Cherokees. So,
okay.
yeah, it was pretty routine.
Well, good for you. So you've been working on any airplanes in your shop?
No, I literally the first in my shop the last couple of days is 3 minutes ago when I cleaned off my workbench to set my iPad up.
Well, I understand there's seasons, sometimes we're busy working on airplanes and other times we're not. It happens to me.
Well, I got immersed in that damn car and while I've got tolerable weather the odd day outside, so I've got to keep at it.
I know you got to balance that stuff. I'm totally with you because I haven't been doing much as far as building because I've had too many other things that I had to do. And it's just like this,
and then, I had that funeral on the weekend and dinner for the Air Force Association and stuff like that. So there was the weekend gone.
Yep. Yeah, that'll do it. Hey, Gordon, you got to unmute yourself. I muted you so while you took your call.
You know who it was, don't you? Bobby Hunt.
Oh, did he get the number and he called you right away?
I just wanted to make sure it was working.
He wasn't trying to sell you some Viagra?
No. And I told him if I could find out where they were located, I'd take my baseball bat and tell them I got through busting up all their phones, they wouldn't have a job.
Wow.
They're probably overseas somewhere.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So how you feeling, Gordon? I know that you had a fall a while back and you finally got a chance to put some trim on your Pathfinder, right?
Oh yeah, it's trimmed. I just got to put some tape lines on it, and then I come off the paint stand, put the motor and the wheels on it. Sandy had been in the hospital for several days, so I finally got her home, and then the next day I went in. I was in there for a day.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Gordon.
Well, that's what comes with old age.
Right, exactly.
Now
you said you need to put some tape lines on your Pathfinder?
Yeah, I usually put a little monocoat trim between the paint and the monocoat just to break up because the colors don't perfectly match. And it kind of takes your eye off the difference in colors a little bit.
Right.
And I do that just to break up the color a little bit.
So you use a trim, the Monaco trim sheets that have self adhesive, or do you iron on?
No, this is
Material.
self-adhesive.
Okay, so it says Monaco trim sheets or something else.
Yeah, it's monocoat trim.
Okay.
I just take a ruler and cut it the widths I want it. So, and I had that on the old one, and it had been on there about 12, 14 years. So it stays down
Yeah.
pretty.
That's something seems pretty hard to come by now, is those monocoat trim sheets, except for the odd color.
Well, I had to go 45 to 50 miles to get it.
Wow. Yeah, I'm fortunate. I still have a good selection of trim sheets at the my local hobby store.
Yeah, they had quite a bit at this hobby shop. The one closest to me, which is about 10 or 12 minutes from my house, I keep on wanting to tell them, I'm trying to be nice, but I really want to tell them this is a nice place to open up a hobby shop instead of a toy shop. Well, if it doesn't have anything to do with electric cars and trucks, they're just letting the rest of it. They have props and APC props and some hardware and stuff, but the stuff you need that's you don't want to order, but you end up having to order it because they won't order it in unless it's for a truck.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
That kind of sounds like a shops around here. They'll order stuff in and they're good about it, but they don't support control line or building much at all.
Exactly.
Well, I don't blame them, because if they were relying on me, they'd go out of business. Because I come in there just to get some Dubro screws once in a while, but that's not even my mode of operation, because I go buy most of my screws and fasteners at a hardware store in San Diego, and it's like I can get a box of 100 screws for like $4.
Yeah.
So it's like I only buy those Dubro screws in a pinch, just because I don't feel like driving all the way down to San Diego, so I'll just buy the 4 or 3 that come in the Dubro package.
I just had a friend stop by our hardware store. All they service is nuts and bolts, whatever you want, and washers. And so he got me a bunch of 440 of 3/8, half inch, 5/8, 3/4, and 1 inch.
Do they have metric as well?
Yep,
That store?
so I got some metric from them. So
Yeah, what I find you need the hobby shop for, at least around here, is T-nuts and threaded inserts. Because the bolt stores don't carry them, especially in 440, 632 sort of thing.
Yeah, that place that I was referring to, they don't have 440 T-nuts or inserts. I mean, they do have some inserts, but they're too big. Even though it might be a 440, they're just too big.
is Dubro still in business?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because I really like their T-nuts on the Dubros.
Yeah.
They're real stocky and beefy and that, but not too big around.
Brodak sells a nice T-nut. It's a little bit different. The spikes are a lot longer than the Dubros, and even the threaded shank is longer than the Dubros. So you might want to consider Brodak's T-nuts. They're really nice.
Yeah. Remember when they used to sell the brass ones? Those were just beautiful, but I haven't seen them in a long time.
I don't remember ever seeing the brass T-nuts.
I do.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing those.
They were well made.
What was that, Gordon?
Charles?
Old enough.
Yeah, I'm not old enough. Hey, Lynn, welcome. Thanks for coming in, Lynn. Appreciate it.
Hey, Charles, good to see you. I got a question
Len.
for you about those T-nuts. How big is the shank on those T-nuts? The Brodak ones.
Yeah.
The Dubro ones have a very thick shank, and so therefore they don't strip out as easy. Though some of them are very thin.
The Dubro.
Take a look at that one day when you get a chance.
Yeah. I remember it is longer. The Brodak one is longer. It is a little bit thinner wall, but it's longer, so there's a lot more threads. So I think
Yeah.
it's kind of a trade-off because there's so many threads in it.
I see what you're saying. The threads are
And
longer.
plus,
Yes, it's
and
longer thread.
the spikes are a lot longer, so that you're not going to ever have it spin, you know.
Not going to spin. That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Yeah.
that's
Lynn,
What I try to do with T-nuts when I'm using them is go for a really snug fit, and I use really hard maple, so I pre-drill holes for the spikes,
wow.
and then I insert them with epoxy, and I use my vise as a press. I don't
Yeah.
try and hammer them in or anything.
I do the
I
same
just squeeze
thing.
them in.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you put a recess? Because I want the that T-nut to be totally flush with the maple.
I usually do it just because I go overboard. You know, there's usually not a purpose. I'll pre-drill. I'll pre-drill well on the flat side. I'll pre-drill it with a little bit of a counter bore with a Forstner bit, and
I
then
do the same
drill
thing.
them out. And
That's exactly what I
Yeah.
do. I use the Foster
Yeah,
bit.
Bob, I do the same thing exactly.
Are you
Pre-drill the
talking about
Forstner bit.
blind nuts?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. I think it's
the real
I've never-
industrial term is T-nut for them.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are nuts. I call them
But yeah, that's what we're
I'm a
talking
little
about.
more modern, I guess. What can I say?
If you wanted 3/8, I've probably got 500 of them.
Yeah.
I got some 1/4 inches, way too big for anything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's pretty big. I've used the bigger ones on my stooge, but I don't think I need that big. 1/4 inch is bigger than what I would need.
When I do up those stacked bell cranks of mine, slotted bell cranks, I insert a T-nut into the bottom of them for where I put the swivel for the cables, and then just grind it off flush on the inside for when I put the bearing in, so that I don't have to hold a nut there, and it keeps the weight down a little bit from having an extra nut and longer bolt too.
oh yeah,
Let me say hi to Paul Taylor. Hey, Paul, thanks for coming in.
Hey guys.
Hey,
What
Paul.
you been up to?
Got a little flying in on Saturday. We got a fence around our field now, so the hogs are hopefully not a problem anymore.
Oh, good.
And, I needed well, I didn't need. I still piddling on my vector, and I 3D printed a cowling for it. So
That yellow cowling is 3D printed.
yeah.
Wow, it's good. Wow, it looks great.
Yeah, I can't take the credit for drawing it up. My college graduate, I got a return on my investment, so I handed him my old cow and I said, "Hey, can you draw this up?" And he goes, "Sure, give me 5 minutes, hold my beer." So
Looks like you got a couple more behind you on the bench there too, Paul.
well, there was it was kind of a process. I mean, I think I wound up printing 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was the last revision. I just, I kept filling with it and wanted to get the weight down. So it's about 0.2 ounces heavier than my original cow, but I needed to add a little nose weight anyway. And so, yeah, I flew it Saturday, and it worked out fine.
Okay, now that's an SV11 or that's a Vector?
No, that's a Vector. Yep. That's my old Vector. I'm just I've been flying with Dick Carvel, and he's basically has all the Castle ESCs in his plane. And so we started talking about the climb and dive timer one day at the field, and so he got it, and he worked pretty closely with the guy that designed it. He's up in Canada somewhere. I think his name's Paul Emerson, and they finally settled
Toronto.
Yeah, they settled in on a setting for that ESC, and he said it made it totally brought one of his planes back to life. So he loves it.
Paul's a really good guy. We used to fly with him in Toronto still do from time to time, but not very often.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy. I mean, very
Oh,
responsive.
he's outstanding. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. We said, hey, we're kind of doing this, and so he's not too impressed with the Castle ESCs. He says they do something, that a lot of the other ones don't do. The other manufacturer doesn't do. But anyway, he's got us dialed in on the Castle ESCs.
Awesome.
Very cool. So when you went out Saturday, what was your goal? I mean, as far as flying, what was you trying to do?
I just wanted to see if that additional. It seemed to be hunting a little bit upright and inverted in level flight, and I just kind of did some searching on Stunt Hangar, and two solutions people kept saying is add a little very little nose weight, and then possibly an elevator tweak. But I think that additional nose weight, I mean, at least to me, it seemed like the hunting kind of went away. It may just be my old age, but it seemed to tame it down a little bit.
So it was hunting equally upright and equally inverted.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't real erratic, but it was just enough where I'm definitely having to stay on top of it.
Huh. Well, I'm glad you fixed it.
Well, it might be a psychological fix, but yeah, Saturday it seemed to be fine. So
Very cool. And we are joined by Mark Weiss. Hey, Mark, thanks for coming in.
Hey, Mr. Charles, how are you?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
I don't want to embarrass Charles, but every once in a while he sends me a really humorous maybe something from YouTube or a joke. And I appreciate it, buddy.
You're welcome.
And I do want to say something else about what you do. I got a really nice phone call. Maybe it was Friday. I can't swear to it, but it was Dan Winship. And he said, hey, Charles's show and your updates on Pampa are really very important. And he said, I learn a lot about what's going on with Pampa from that. And of course, I learned from the other guys what's going on the show. And we just had the nicest conversation. He's obviously a very bright guy.
Yes.
And that's why it was surprised he called me. But I guess, he must have been getting desperate. And he said, I plan to be at the Nats and the Worlds. And if you need someone, to do something, not a full-time basis, but I said, hey, that'd be awesome. And he had some great suggestions for me. So Charles, thank you for you and Sparky for providing this service to everyone.
Yeah, I think it's neat. You keep me updated.
It is neat.
Informed. I was thinking about Pampa, and this is just something I think simple that everybody could do to help Pampa is to make sure we kind of put something like Pampa on our plane. You know what I mean? Where it would create a curiosity, and hopefully we have a community where unless you're involved with Pampa, you're a member, you don't put that on your plane, so that people ask, "What is that?" And we have a chance to explain that this is, what Pampa is.
Yeah, I said it to one person about a year and a half ago, not a modeler, and they're saying, "Oh, Pampers like a woman would buy." And I said, no. And so I spelled it. She said, well, what does that mean? And I went through it. Oh, okay. So actually, we've been talking about, when I look at the old videos, especially on Sparky's channel, there are a lot of guys wearing Pampa t-shirts. And we're gonna do our best to get them back and, spread the word. There's a lot of good things going on. I got a really good meeting coming up Thursday night with the other guys on the advisory committee. Tell them what's going on with the 3 or 4 committees that we launched. And these guys are doing a great job. And we're going to launch 4 more, which, I'm just really excited about because it brings in much more talent than me just sitting and trying to make a good decision. But I would like to plug one other thing before I let other people speak. Every once in a while, a good idea, comes our way. And we've talked about this, but it just kind of solidified. And I came up with this thing called a Pampa PMO. And what that means is a broadcast or some kind of a broadcast would be the best term. Pampa members only, PMO. Because to me, Pampa's got to be more, if we want to keep this going, it's got to be more than just us doing a really good job every year running in the Nats. That's not good enough. A lot of people join Pampa who never go to the Nats, and you got to answer the question, what's in it for me? And we're coming up with a whole series of what's in it for me. And the first one is Friday night, this Friday, February 16th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it actually came to me, and that's where the word came from. And it's Joe Daly, who's really good, as many others are, in alternate materials. And he's going to show how he builds a stab using molds the way he does it. And he builds incredibly light, straight, strong structures. And he said, I'd be willing to do that live. And I said, you're on. You're the first PMO. So if you're a Pampa member, you should have gotten
I did.
An email. There, got an email from me, thanks to Chris Rudd. And if you're a Pampa member and you didn't get it, let me know. Let me know before Friday. I'll send you a link. But Pampa is all about stunt. I mean, that's what we're doing. That's who we are. So if you're a guy who's interested in stunt, or a woman or a child interested in stunt, I promise you, we're going to make it that $40 a year is going to be nothing compared to what you get. Okay. So that's going to be Friday. My Zoom account will allow up to 200 people to be dialed in and looking. So we're looking forward to it. Anyone who wants to do it as a Pampa member, please join up. Please join in. If you're not, just go on the website, PampaCL, as in control line.org, and join in. And if you're lucky, you won't have too many more years of me. So, I'll do this as long as we're making progress, and we'll go from there. So
Didn't we
Charles,
tell you
thank you.
it's a life sentence, Mark?
I'm sorry?
Didn't we tell you it's a couple of years ago that it's a life sentence?
Well, I like the way you put that. It's not a life contract, it's a life sentence. And, Bob, it's like I told people at the banquet, when I first took over Pampa, my blood pressure was normal. And that's the last day it was. So, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm enjoying it. We got good things going on. And Bob, maybe the best thing about that happened last year, even though we added 50 members, the thing that got me the most was maybe six people at different times of the year came over to me and gave me a total of $10,000 in cash to donate to Pampa.
Wow.
And I didn't ask any of them. And I said the same thing. I said, do you want to know what happens with the money? And they said, no, we trust you. We trust you and the rest of the guys on the council. And that was the best pat on the back I think you can get. So I'm going to stay on here as long as I can, Mondays and Fridays. I learn a lot, and I like connecting with you guys. Even those in the United States, I like connecting with.
Well,
my
we really
closest
appreciate
friends,
you being on, Mark. And
yeah, my closest friends are the guys in Canada. But
and thanks again for those stickers too that you sent me last year. Got to get on some new airplanes this year. Is there plans on a production run of those so we can?
Yes, and we're going to put back Pampa Plans. So it's going to be a free service. We're going to send you the link on through your computer, and if you want to blow them up, you can just go to a local place and do it. Shipping costs have just gotten so crazy. We just can't afford to do that. So last thing I want to tell you, and I'm sorry, Charles, I'm taking a lot of your time. My other good idea, and I got great people that I'm working with, is that I'm going to form an ad hoc committee of our previous stars, the guys who just don't fly anymore, who just gave so much, and they know a lot. And I don't want to repeat things that didn't work. And I want to know what they know so they can advise me of things in the past that were troublesome, things in the past that were great, plus any ideas they have. You know, the atmosphere has changed. The culture is still great. But, you know, I guess when Pampa started, there were probably, I don't know, 20,000 hobby shops, 30,000 hobby shops. Didn't have to look far to find one. You know, well, that's changed. And a lot of things have changed, but that doesn't mean, it just means challenge. That's all it means. So I'm going to hang in there as long as I can. I work with some great folks. And I just want to, Charles, for you and the others who dial in every week, like Bob, there's a lot of good things that people pick up that you don't hear about. You know, and we'll lose all that unless we have you guys and more live, as well as those you know, looking and hitting the like button and joining. So I'm not saying that for Pampa's sake. I'm just saying that for the good of Charles, the good of Sparky's channel, the good of Control Line Stunt. You know, it's good stuff. So I'm going to shut up. Charles, thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you very much.
You know, Mark, that makes me think of what you just mentioned about hobby shops. In a way, they were kind of our club gathering places. You know, we'd sit and it wasn't just to go to the hobby shop for stuff; it was to visit and interact. And you know, we had a lot smaller city then, and we had 3 really good model airplane shops and one mediocre one, and a darn good train hobby shop. And now we're down to 2 mediocre hobby shops that have virtually nothing for us, and they're certainly not gathering places.
Yep. Yep. And part of my conversation with Dan Winship was about, I happened to ask him, like everyone asks him, hey, did you have any, you know, control horns left? This guy made quality stuff.
Yes. Yes.
And he made some really interesting points about how you do it and how you don't do it. And also the quality of the video was an interesting story. He said he did a video on making foam wings. And after he did it, he looked at it again, then edited it. So he took out some things like the camera was looking at his back and things like that. And he said, Mark, of all the videos I've done, that was by far the most popular. And I think he said he got like 44,000 hits, you know, on a video that he felt wasn't done right. However, it did show what people were looking for, you know, and it still gets hits. So, you know, when you're recording this, Charles, you just never know. Down the road, someone goes in there and sees you and hears someone say something neat, and it's a game changer.
Yeah, and it's going to be here long past the time I'm here, you know?
Absolutely. So Charles, did I say everything you asked me to say? No, that's not true. That's not true at all. That's just a stupid joke. But thank you, Charles.
Oh, thank you, Mark. I appreciate the job
you all you guys.
And I'm glad you come in and keep us updated. I really appreciate it. Kind of makes the show seem like official to me.
Well,
it's pretty cool. You know, speaking of, you touched on something about, you know, some of these older guys or people with a lot of experience, you know, coming in. I wish they would all come in. I mean, there are people I've called and try to get people to come in and they don't. So if you know anybody who should be in, you know, prod them and help them with the technology. Sometimes they just need help finding the link, you know, and maybe help with getting a camera or getting a microphone. But and we need to make a record, a permanent record of some of these stories, some of these things. I was talking to Bart Koplinski last week, and he was talking about his club meetings. He had like 70 people. I can't imagine a club meeting of 70 people.
Wow. Wow. That's
70,
awesome.
70.
We used to have that many.
We're talking about Control Line too.
Yeah, we used to have that many in Salt Lake every month.
Wow.
It's the biggest. Well, right now we're the longest running continuous club that's ever been in Utah.
That's fantastic.
It started in 1954 or 5. I went to the very first club meeting, and they're still having them. But we don't have 70 people anymore because most of us have died.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also got to get young people so that
No, we don't.
so we can continue. So this hobby,
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
it's a very hard market, but I think you're right, Mark. I mean, our market really is to do a retread, get someone who used to fly control line, get them back into it.
Yep.
I think that really is the market. Let me
Yeah,
read a
someone
text.
that's been, sorry,
I got
someone that's
text
been,
from
yeah.
Mark here. Mark Lumen, he's a member of our YouTube channel. He says, "Got your like, got a couple of builds going. Also looking for a Shark 45 canopy. If anyone has one, let Mark Lumen know or let me know and I'll get you in touch." He's looking for a canopy for a Shark 45.
Good deal. Charles, there's only one downside I know of in growing Pampa. And that is, I'm afraid we'll find another Howard Rush. I don't know. I think I'd resign if that happened.
We told you can't. It's a life sentence. Yeah, Charles, I was going to say on note of getting people involved on Hangout here. Hello?
I'm here.
Yeah,
we're here.
Yeah, and getting people involved on back involved on Hangouts. I saw that recently that Daryl Adams had been absent for a few years. He made a post on his channel and he said he's had just life issues and stuff, and he sort of had to drop everything, but he's gotten back into full-size aviation. So hopefully he'll come out and get back into control line again. So I'll when I see him, I'll nag at him to come back on.
I missed him because I remember I was watching a show with Rusty as the host, and Daryl, you said, right? Daryl, Canada? Yep. He was in there.
He was the very first person to tune in, I think, when Sparky started it back when.
Yeah. Daryl used to tease me because I was always yawning. And he's like, "Wake up, Charles." This is when I wasn't the host. Wake up, Charles. And he just laughed at me all the time because I was always yawning.
He's a bit of a character.
Mark made this comment a minute ago that he was worried about getting another Howard Rush. And I want to, you have the Pampa website has on it built-in protection against that, because 5 minutes ago, I tried to renew my membership. And I put in a credit card number and everything. And a note came up and said, "There's already somebody with this email address that's a Pampa member." So it refused a second Howard Rush. So you don't need to worry about it, I guess.
Very good.
That's a true story.
I know.
Howard, I would personally pay for your membership if it was in jeopardy.
Well, you don't need to if you somehow let me sign up.
So you having a problem logging in, or just having a problem renewing?
I was renewing. They wouldn't let me renew because there's already one of me signed up, and as Mark said, he wanted that not to happen, and he doesn't have to worry about it, I guess.
Huh.
We'll make an exception.
Okay.
Yeah. Let Chris Rudd know to let Howard in.
Absolutely.
Is it a secured site?
Marilu asked if that's a secure site to put in your credit card number. I presume it is.
Good question.
If it's got,
I know it is.
If it's got the little lock by the URL at the top, then it's secure.
I'm on an iPhone and you don't get to see the URL. Well, if I get all those Viagra ads, I'll know what happened.
Give your phone number, Howard.
Gordon, just call forward your old number to Howard.
There you go. He wouldn't be too happy.
Oh, Gordon, on a different subject, did you ever find out if you had any of those Belfry bound plans hiding out or anything you were going to look into that?
I did. I checked. I'm sorry I didn't get back. My computer's been down, and they just got it hooked up yesterday.
My message doesn't.
Yeah, no rush. It'd be at least a year before I'd even think of it. But
Anyway, they didn't have the Belfry plans.
okay. I got one more chance. I think that Gordon Van Tegum up in Yellowknife mentioned he might have a set sometime, but he was in the middle of the fires threatening to burn the town down. So
Oh yeah,
hadn't gotten back to him.
yes. I mean, he's out in no land.
Oh, he's way up there. Yep.
Yeah,
Yellowknife.
yep. Yeah, I think he told me his closest neighbor is about a half a mile to a mile away. So I guess you can shout as much as you want there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And make model airplane noises as much as you want without pissing everyone off.
Yeah. Imagine the altitude's pretty high there, isn't it?
Not really.
Oh.
It's up towards the Arctic Circle, so it's not that high. I could look it up for you if you want.
I was just curious.
Yeah. See here.
Yeah, we're at 4,400 feet where I fly.
Yeah, we're at about 2,300 here.
Oh, that's hog heaven for us. Same when we go down to Tucson. I think they're 2,800 down there. And the planes just fly better.
Doesn't matter if they're big planes or little ones, they fly better when it's low.
Oh yeah.
It's not nice up there in Yellowknife right now. IFR conditions, 15 miles viz, broken 800 feet, light snow, but wind's calm. There, you got your update.
All right. I was amazed.
Yeah, their elevation is 675 feet.
Oh wow. If snow ever melts, it'd be a nice place to fly.
Actually, it's cooking hot there in the summer.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah, it's real extremes in the Arctic.
Wow. Well, that's even.
Well, they're subarctic where they are, but
yeah.
I was so surprised that Gordon Van Totten drove from Yellowknife to Tucson when I went to VSC several years ago. I was so like, man, that's a long drive. I don't like to drive.
Yeah, this is his layover stop.
It's everybody layover stop.
And then goes on to Tucson. Then they stop here on the way back to Yellowknife. And we used to have Howard, but he's got a park where they got electric outlet to charge his car. What a ripoff.
yeah. I think Gordon, when he was president of MAC way back when, was the guy who officially brought it in for that cooperative, sharing between AMA and MAC for recognizing the memberships in the other country. And he
He's
is
my
not too
hero,
happy
then.
about that being thrown away.
I agree with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot for the hobby over the years.
Yep.
Yeah, the guys who are running it now have killed the hobby. That's the problem here. They're killing it.
Good day.
Yep.
Who was the Canadian?
I'm so mad still about this whole thing. I don't even want to go there.
Hey,
Well,
on a
that's-
kind of good news note, our RC club that I'm with got our field shut down by some of those NIMBYs, not in my backyard types, and big county meeting and everything. It was quite the show. It was worthy of Academy Awards from them. But the county itself has stepped up to the plate and are aggressively working with us to try and find us another field. So I didn't really expect that from them.
That's awesome.
So
Good
maybe
stuff.
there's hope.
Yeah.
Things like that, those are good stories.
We had a real nice RC field that I do demos there every once in a while with a control line. They put in their own runway. They put in their overheads, so they had shade, their plugs, their porta potties, and the club paid for all of it themselves. They would have auctions, and you'd buy tickets, and then they'd have drawings, and that money would go back into the club to do all this stuff. Well, after I don't know, 20 something years, the city came in there here about 6 years ago and says, by the way, we're closing up this park. We're going to make baseball and soccer fields out of it. So they stuck them out by the Salt Lake dump to fly their RC airplanes now. You just got to worry about not hitting a seagull.
Well, our control line, our RC club had even put in some nice smooth mowed grass areas for Paul and I to fly control line too.
Yep.
Nice.
And that's all gone.
Well, they put in a lot of grass. I guess you go there when they're not playing soccer and use their field to fly airplanes off of.
Maybe we should put in minefields around our club fields.
Yeah, and only the people that are members get a
That's
map.
it.
The mine.
That's it.
Wear a special bracelet or something to deactivate them when you walk through.
I mean, it's
Good
crazy.
idea.
It's not right. It just.
Oh, another one funny that you'd like there, Bob, is Heel Field has been here since the time up before I was born. My dad worked there when I was like 5 years old at Heel Field.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It's a military base. We have F-35s there. And the people have now built homes all the way up within a half a mile of their runway. And they won't let them build any closer than that. Well, now they're all complaining about the F-35s too noisy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, it is noisier than an F-16. We had F-16s here for years. And when I hear them, you know what I think of? The sound of freedom.
There we go.
There you go.
Freedom.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
our airport in Edmonton was probably the best municipal airport within a city, possibly in North America, in Canada anyway. It was the oldest licensed airport in the Commonwealth. It was busier than heck. We called it the gateway to the north. It literally opened up northern Canada. And the real estate developers got on the bandwagon in the 70s and tried to shut it down for safety, and they couldn't because there's never been an incident involving someone on the ground. And there's been a few airplane crashes, but nobody was hurt on the ground. And so they shut down the commercial air travel. That still couldn't kill it because the airport was still bringing in like 30 million a year.
Wow.
And we had a plebiscite, and it was voted on to keep it open as a functioning airport for minimum of 50 years. And the council, a few years later, decided, well, they didn't like that. So they just did an order in council and closed the damned airport.
Wow.
And now it's just a wasteland. They haven't done anything with it. But within a couple of days of this happening, though, the owner of our damned hockey team, I'm not an Oilers fan, got a permit to build a high rise right on what had been the approach. Now he got a permit within a couple of days. That is unheard of. So I think there was some real shenanigans behind the scenes, and as a result, I have two favorite teams in the NHL: the Red Wings and whoever's playing the Oilers.
All right. Hey, Sparky, thanks for coming in. I'll be right with you. Let me ask Lynn. Hey, Lynn, you been doing any work in your shop or building any airplanes or flying?
Carving out I'm still carving out blocks. I got the nobler blocks down to about 2 ounces now. Let me see now. I'm 1.5 ounces on the top block, and I'm 0.7 of an ounce on the bottom block. I'm trying to get the total to be 2 ounces, so I just keep working away at it. That's what I've been up to.
Very good. Very good. Hey Sparky, what's been happening with you? I saw a little bit of your repair video of the I think I was watching part of number 3.
Yeah, I did number 4 tonight. I took the covering off this thing. I'm gonna make the airplane look brand new again. I got several rolls of ultra coat, green, lime green. This is the color right here. So,
Yeah,
That
there
should
you
look
go.
nice. That should look nice.
you know,
Which airplane is that, Sparky?
that's Steve's Vector 40. He
Okay, yeah. I got you. Okay.
the push rod pulled out at the flap and it went straight in the ground, and just
Oh
the
God.
thing that lasted was the motor mount I put into it and the wing. So it knocked a hole in the wing here, and I repaired that. And I got the fuselage built. It's drying over there.
Chill.
The doubler's built, and I cut him a new elevator and stabilizer. Now I don't have plans for this airplane, so the numbers are going to be different. They gave me a couple of numbers. You know, one of the guys had one, so I said it's 9 1/8 nose moment, or whatever, and 15-inch tail moment. So I'm going to make it 9.5-inch nose moment and 15.5-inch tail moment. So, and it'll look a little different. So instead of a Vector, it's going to be called a Spectre. And so
Were there any other specs you need on it, Sparky? Because I've got the plans for the kit built version. I've got a kit.
I don't need nothing. If one guy wanted to bring me a set of plans so that I could have a rib cut out, but I showed on a video how to get that profile, and I made that cutout.
That was a great tip. I like that.
Put the wax paper up there and then bend the sticks and
Yeah, laminate it.
yeah.
I gotta watch that video. I didn't catch that one.
Yeah.
I'm always curious how to make the cutout.
Well, we'll see how good it fits, but it should fit perfect. So I got to thinking anyway, you know, I said, well, I'll build you a fuselage. So I got to thinking about that, build a fuselage. And if I built him a fuselage, he'd have some crappy old ratty airplane. When I gave it back to him, I said, you know what? We'll just strip it and make it new again. Because when you take your car to the body shop, you don't expect it to come back 4 different colors and looking like shit. You expect it to look like new. So I'm gonna it should only take me a week to put this together. How about that?
Awesome.
I've been doing it now. This is the 2nd day. I think tomorrow will be the 3rd. So I figure 7 days it should be together. He brought me these landing gear. These things are amazingly heavy.
Oh man, that's brutal. Yeah.
So I'm going to give him a carbon fiber gear I made way back when. And
Nice.
I got spinners.
How'd you like that beautiful gear block system they had too, with 2 little layers of plywood with a 1 drop of hot glue joining them?
Well, you know, I'm looking at this wing, and it's actually built better than I can put it together. The laser cutting, it's beautiful. And if they would just use CA instead of hot glue, it'd be a good airplane. Because it is laser straight, it's heavy, you know, they need to use better wood. But as far as the craftsmanship of it, it's beautiful. I don't know how they
Yeah,
can.
that push rod end pulling out didn't surprise me a bit when you were saying that, because on my SV11, before I put it together, I mentioned that last week, I think, that I just grabbed the end of the push rods and pulled on them, and they yanked right out. They were just hot glued or something in there, so I made all new. And I'm not at all surprised the Vector 40 was the same thing.
Yeah.
When I rebuilt that one into a profile, I replaced the entire control system, of course.
But that's the first time I've ever had my hands on an ARF, wing or whatever, and seen the inside of it. And if you've never seen it, they're really, it's a little heavy, but it's really well made for people who don't know anything about model airplane. Even the hollowing of the blocks is relatively good on the tips.
Yeah.
It's not sanded smooth inside, but it ain't bad. It ain't bad at all. I did find some damage. I'm glad I took the covering off. I did find some sheeting broke over here, cracked from the stress. I just wicked some CA on it and it should be good. That's what I've been doing, is gonna try to get this together for Steve in the next week or so.
Very good.
Sparky, good job.
Very good, Sparky. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I hope Steve's probably pretty appreciative of the free labor.
Yeah. Probably.
Well, he's learning too. He's learning how to repair.
It's what a lot of us do in this game.
Well, I just, I could have gave him the fuselage and said, here's the fuselage, you put it together. But it's easier for me just to do it than to show him. So, and I'll film it as I'm going and maybe somebody can learn something. I don't know. Wendy was the king of crash repair.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, I liked his column. That was a pretty good column in Stunt News.
Wasn't it the Red Baron that he did the total rebuild on in the videos?
No.
Or which
that
one was that?
Totally. He did the rebuild. He did a rebuild on Strega and he did a rebuild
Oh,
on
yeah.
Tsunami.
Yeah, Strega's the one I saw. Yeah.
Strega. He did a rebuild on Strega and a rebuild on Tsunami.
What about the one that the outboard wingtip or outboard wing panel got destroyed? I thought it was one of his twins.
Yeah.
It was the A26. That one wasn't repairable either.
Oh, okay.
Now, I would not be doing this.
Actually, he repaired it once. It had some issue and he repaired it and it crashed after that, and that was the end of it.
I would not be doing this job have it not been for Monocoat. If I had to finish this, there is no way that I would, do it for nothing. Sand and paint and all that shit, because it would take me a week to do the woodwork and 2 months to do the painting.
Yeah.
But it'd be just Monocoat. It'll take me hour on the wing and hour on the, couple hours to Monocoat it together. For you Monocoat guys who do this job, it looks to me like they I don't know, but it looks to me like they monocoated a strip on the trailing edge right here and then inside here first and then came over. Is that how you do it?
That's one way.
I don't, but
how do you
do it? A lot of guys for their notches for the hinge rebates or around the tips, if they've got root fairings and stuff, they'll put monocoat strips in there because you can't, just to get the inside corner covered.
Well, so I can do it just like covering with tissue. Start at the bottom, overlap halfway, and then overlap the other way, and then go back, overlap the same. That'll work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. It's been 91 was my last monocoat job. Well, I did that half a airplane, but that don't count.
I thought you did those voodoos.
That don't count. That ain't that ain't no complicated.
Yeah, they're not
job.
stunters.
Stick it straight down and iron it up. Big deal.
I like doing the ultra coat thing. It's very quick and it's very efficient and it's pretty darn light.
There's another question. Is there enough on one roll to do the whole job, or is it going to take
easily?
2
Easily. A vector, sure, no problem.
This one roll will do the wing and the fuselage and the stab.
I don't think so.
Maybe not the fuse. I usually do a wing and a set of tails. That's it. And then I paint the fuselage.
Okay, because I got this full roll here and about, I don't know, 3/4 of a roll over there of the same color. Let me show you how much I got.
Oh, yeah. If you should have enough then, if you have 2 of them, you're good.
Well, I don't have 2 full rolls.
Well, you'll still be good. Because I can do the wing and the tails with the 1 full roll.
I got
So if you've got 3/4 on the other roll, you got plenty.
I got,
Oh yeah, you're laughing. You got plenty. You're good.
okay.
Easy.
I think you'll be a little short myself.
You think?
He's being smart.
Oh,
I
I don't know. I never done this.
No.
Leave the flaps till last, and then if you run short, you'll have to put another color on, and it can look real goofy.
Yeah, I got silver. I got black. I got yellow. I got some emerald green. You know, but I have the most of that bright green. And guess what color Steve hates?
Green.
That's right.
Bright green. Hey.
Hey, Sparky,
Oh.
call Lou if you got any problems. You know, if you got some questions, he's the best monocoder I've seen.
I
But
know.
the one thing he says, make sure that thing is sanded like you're going to paint it.
Yeah. Lou is the best monocoat man I've ever seen.
Yep, but he said you gotta sand it just like if you were going to put a dope finish on it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then vacuum it.
And then what?
Vacuum.
Vacuum.
Oh, vacuum it. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
Get the dust off.
of course.
How about tack cloth? You need to do a tack cloth too?
I do that after I vacuum it.
We'll get it. It'll look fine. It's an ARP, you know. What do you expect?
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be the most expensive ARP on the planet.
You know, except for the fact that you're building it, I guess it'd qualify builder of the model rule now.
I don't know. I probably.
New fuselage, new tail.
It probably would. But
Covered it.
No, don't you got to change the control system though? You got to install the control system.
Not sure about that.
Yeah, it's in the rules. You got to change the control system. I mean, or put in the control system.
which
I don't
wouldn't
think
be
it
a
really
bad idea,
matters.
then.
Who cares?
I think if Sparky said he built it, no one's going to question that anyway. So
No, not a bit.
It ain't for me. It's for Steve, so he can do what
That's
he
right.
wants.
It just doesn't matter.
And it's an ARP, you know.
That's right.
I got a comment from his handle is Go For It Painting. He says, "Hello."
Yo. Hey,
Hey.
here's another question I got for you. Because I didn't have any plans, and Steve just brought me over the elevator stabilizer. Here we go, right here. And I'm used to building big airplanes. This thing ought to turn on a dime and be stuck on a rail. This is the stabilizer elevator off the Vector, and I didn't have this when I cut this and cut all this stuff out. This is the stab that I built, and
Nice.
it's that much bigger.
That's okay.
It's beautiful.
And the elevators are this much bigger.
Yeah, you'll probably like it.
Taking a note from Ted Fancher's book. Instead of Fancherized, it's a Sparkyized.
Yeah, that's right. A Sparky-ized Vector.
The guy, it's a Spectre. I told you that.
Yeah, that's awesome. A Sparky-ized Vector.
The guys, I said online, I said, I need some help. And if you look back at the first video, I need some help. Give me some numbers. So the guy says, well, it's this from the root, and they didn't tell me how wide the stab was. They gave me the moment arms, which are, no, I made mine 9.5, 15.5. Let me get this over here. Set up on this. It's electric, so it's built a little different. So I took this here, and my nose moment is going to be it's like I didn't have any plans. Oh, that's what it is. Now, my nose moment is 9.5. And the tail moment is 15.5. And I think that's longer than a stock vector.
It'll be good.
You gained a half an inch either way. You'd be all right.
Yeah.
Plus a bigger element. Plus it's going to get knocked out. This thing was 60 ounces.
Wow.
Holy crap.
But I'll knock it down to 50. And it's got
You
all
sure will.
it's got all the crap in it, man. It's got a big
Yeah,
old
that's right. You got rid of all the crap.
So how many square inches is that, Sparky?
I don't know. It's a 52-inch wingspan.
Okay.
It's a little airplane. And 52, and we'll do half span. I'll just hold this up here and guess.
Okay, here's a vector kit right here.
Hang on, I can't see. Hang on.
But is it a vector ARF?
That's a vector 40. I mean, it'd be the same.
It's the same.
Yeah.
So it's 536 squares, 50.5-inch span, 42.25-inch length.
Wow.
What's the wingspan you said on that?
50.5.
That ain't what this one is.
Hey,
There's
Sparky,
two
what's
different
the weight of
vectors.
that
Randy
wing?
did two different vectors.
Now, I could go
Oh,
get
that's
my
just a
vector
regular Brodak
40 profile, which uses an ARF wing.
Hey, Philip, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, that's right. It is a 50.5-inch wingspan. I thought it was 52.
Okay.
So it's 536. It was 60 ounces. It flew decent. I mean, Joe Gilbert watched it fly. He said, "Man, who trimmed that?" And Steve said, "Well, Sparky did." And it flew good, but it was heavy. You know, you could see it wallowing.
The weight of that wing now, Sparky.
Let's check it out. It was,
Why was it so heavy? My electric wasn't that heavy.
well, it had 2 ounces of tip weight in it that was built into it.
Holy cats.
Crap. That's
Until you didn't
wild.
have the weight box.
9.5 the way it sits now.
That's good. Nothing wrong with that.
That's not bad.
I
I'm
broke
gonna go compare it to my nobler wing. I'll go see what my nobler wing is. Hang
All
on.
right, thank you, Lynn.
the tip weight box is at the end of the spar. And the way it's calculated, it should be up here. So I'm moving the tip weight with, it had a half ounce of tip weight in the box, and then the rest of these big sinkers epoxied inside the tip.
Wow.
And when it hit the ground, it broke the front of the box loose. So I just left the box in there and fished out the part that broke off and stuck a block in there and covered it up. We're going to move the tip weight box to where it belongs, towards the leading edge.
Oh, Sparky, I've got another one of those darn ARFs downstairs. Now you're gonna force me to move the darn tip weight box.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to you about that, Sparky. I always put mine on the CG. Just
Well,
barely in front of the CG.
the way that I've always done it, and the way it always works for me, is the plotted center of the lead outs, you draw a straight line from there through the bell crank pivot. I mean, and usually this bell crank's mounted in the wrong spot. It's too far back, but I know, Howard, it don't matter. But it usually ends up out here on the tip towards the leading edge.
I see.
Right here.
I guess I'll have to check mine, see how it comes out that way. You go between the two lead outs, is that right?
I go through between the two lead outs, through the pivot point of the bell crank out to the tip, and that's where the box should be. That's how I do it.
Thank you.
And it's always worked for me.
Sparky,
Yeah.
Sparky, you're right. It's a little heavy for being because it's an ARF. Mine's 8.8 with the flaps. So yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's heavy. But the wood in it, the wood is RC wood, but the workmanship, I mean, everything's laser cut. It looks like everything fits perfect.
Yeah.
I can't build it that good.
Well,
This
did
would be
you
really
say
good.
they use the hot glue on that?
Yeah, it's all put together with hot glue.
Yeah, and that adds a lot of weight right there.
I'll
Well,
probably
they don't use what they need. They just kind of go and then stick it together.
I'll probably go through with the CA and detail glue it, you know, so it don't come apart. Hopefully it'll last more than a season.
Well, those are great flying little airplanes. They just, to be a 40 size airplane, they really fly well.
But this is the profile of the wing that I got from bending those sticks. And that looks about right, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Of course, I did the fold a piece of paper in half and only did one side and then cut the two halves and unfold it trick.
Yeah. I came across with some other stuff. I bought 2 packages of the laser cut Brodak 40 vector rib sets too. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but because I got the kit here also, but maybe a change of design project or something, you know, a vector of a different shape or something. I don't know.
Well, I got an SV over here, SV fuselage here. Let's put the wing profile up and see how close it is.
You know, Randy did 3 different airplanes, all using basically that same wing.
This is an
So
SV.
it would, you built a Dreadnought 40 and used the same wing and not a big deal.
And this is a vector. This wing's a little thicker and a little shorter. About a 1/4 inch shorter. No, it's about the same thickness. The same airfoil, only a 1/4 inch, 3/8 shorter than an SV wing.
It looks like it's got a pretty thick airfoil, which is good.
Yeah. How I came about with that was the stick method. So I'll show you that. You didn't watch that video, and I have never done this before. I was sitting in the Walmart parking lot, waiting on my old lady to get done grocery shopping. And I thought, how am I going to extrapolate that rib pattern off of this wing? Because I don't have a. So I made this thing here. This is the sticks glued together. And I take, you know, put it on, pinned it on this. And these are at 90 degrees to this stick. And you put this on here like so. And that gives you a thickness of the wing. Then you pin this on here like so, from the center of that to the center of that. And that gives you, you know, exactly what it needs to be. And it looks right. I mean, we'll hope it's right.
Interesting.
Like it fit pretty good.
Like I say, I put wax paper on this. And then I took 1/4 inch wide strips and roll it over and then C8 them together, 4 1/4 inch strips. And I cut a paper pattern, basically, you know, folded a piece of paper in half. And that's how I got it. We'll see. It'll be close enough that it'll work.
Thank you,
That's
Sparky.
just wood. A little sandpaper will fix it if it's off a little bit.
I've got plenty glue, plenty of super fill. Just goober it up. It'll be fine.
Very good. Let me say hi to Caffeine. I don't know who came in first, Caffeine or Steven, but I'll just do Caffeine first. Hey, Caffeine, how's it going?
Everything is doing good. I went flying last week and I had like 4 to 5 flights, and yeah, I have some video to share actually.
All right.
Let me share my screen first.
Is it summertime there?
What's that?
Is it summertime where you are?
It's always summertime here.
Oh, always summertime. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Nice.
We still have snow on the ground.
Wait. But it's now rainy season, but yeah, we can still fly it. Let me check first. Can you see my screen now?
Yep. Huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Oh, nice. This is Cybeck or Seebeck.
Yes, it is.
Very good.
Here's a tip, Caffeine. You're over controlling the airplane. Those are way too small.
Is it?
Yeah, way too small.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
the outside loop. You mean?
All of them, inside and outside.
Ah, okay. Because from inside the circle, I thought I had like, wow, it's too big circle. But after seeing this video again, I realized it's still okay. I can make it bigger and bigger. So because you know inside the circle, I was trying to make like perfect size, but no, I don't think so. I should make it bigger.
Now, I can't really tell by a video, but it looks like the tops of your maneuvers are at 45, but the bottom
Okay.
is 20 foot off the ground. So if you start where the top is and come down to 5 foot off the ground, that'll make the loop a whole lot bigger and look more presentable. And that's both on the
Okay.
inside and the outside. Your outsides are up to the left hand of the 8 that I saw you do, and they're like flopping over themselves like a combat wing. Way too much control. So you got to fly up from that top all the way down to 5 foot and then back around.
Yeah, for the outside part, I'm still getting my confidence to do that because oftentimes I just exit at pretty high height, but
Don't worry about it. You'll get it. Just keep
yeah,
practicing. You'll get it.
but for the inside, I started to get very confidence to start very almost 5 feet and then exit at, yeah, more or less 5 feet. But outside, I'm still.
Caffeine, can you fly in upside down?
You mean inverted?
Inverted? Can you fly inverted?
Yeah, I could do that, but still at very, very high height, not 5 feet.
Keep practicing bringing that inverted flight down, and instead of starting from the upright position, what I think what Gordon's getting at is teach yourself from the inverted position how to do outside maneuvers. So that you're not diving towards the ground, you're starting from level flight inverted and then going up, and you can judge it a little better.
Okay. But one thing for sure that I learned after seeing that video again is, okay, so because I always thought that my loop was always, whoa, it's too big, but after seeing that it's not big enough, so I can still, yeah, I can still start higher.
Hey, Caffeine, you can practice right there in your house and just visualize the maneuver in your mind's eye and spread it out You know, you're trying to do everything right in front of you, and like those horizontal maneuvers, use the whole circle. You know, open them up, spread them out, and then you can. And once you get the shapes down, then you can start bringing them down. You know, closer to the ground. But I understand what you're saying. You're intimidated diving in towards the ground, and that everybody has that. You know, starting out, but just visualizing it, and I can't remember who. I think Howard or somebody said that if you can just visualize what that looks like before you even step on the field, it'll help you quite a bit.
Yep.
Stephen, McChelly, go ahead, Stephen.
Can I just maybe suggest something? And I'm not by any means a person to make any suggestions as a flight captain or anything like that. But perhaps, Caffeine, maybe you should try using a little bit less of your wrist and a little bit more of your arm when you draw your loops. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Your loops are probably so tight because you're using your wrist and you're not using your arm. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In other words, when you fly a control line airplane, your hand can stay just like this. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. Your hand can stay just like this, and your arm at the elbow can go up and down, and the airplane will go up and down and do everything you want it to do just by moving your arm up and down. You never have to move your wrist. The airplane will follow the elevator. And the elevator goes up and down as your arm moves up and down in conjunction with it, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let me let Gordon come in. Go ahead, Gordon.
I was gonna have him work on your inverted flight more.
Okay.
Even if you only go a half a lap and pull out, but you used to use down elevator to pull out of your inverted flight.
Yeah.
Practice so you feel real comfortable. It's the same upright or inverted. And you start doing your outsides, will become a lot easier to do.
Okay. I see.
The most intimidating maneuver of the pattern to me is the reverse wing over, the outside turn that's the first turn of the maneuver, or first turn of the pattern, because you have no reference. Where you're at. It's all by eye. Bang.
Yep.
And I learned to fly inverted in my bedroom. I practice. Okay, I do my loop and I give down elevator. And I learned most of the stuff right there practicing in my bedroom.
And a lot less rebuilding time doing it that way.
Yeah, and when I went out to fly, I went inverted and felt very at home flying inverted. So
yep.
You say that
might try.
Sparky, you say the wing over was the thing that got you the hardest maneuver for you.
Reverse
Darn,
wing.
Hourglass claimed more planes from me than any other maneuver.
I didn't say it claimed airplanes, but that's the hardest maneuver for me to do and score anything worth a crap is that first turn on the reverse wing over, because there's no reference from 4 to 5 down. It's just coming down over the top. You think, God, is this? And especially when I was flying piped airplanes with all that rigmarole slung underneath and battery operated airplanes, God, is this thing going to make that turn at the end?
Yeah.
But now that I've switched airplanes and programs, I know that I can make that turn, so I'm bringing them closer to the ground.
Yeah.
And you really haven't had time to warm up, Sparky, because
that's right.
That maneuver right at you with the very first one after takeoff.
And that's the one that sets up the judges' scores.
Yep.
That's right. They make a judgment. Oh, this guy can't fly very good, based upon that first pull out.
Yep.
Or they go, oh, this guy can really fly. Me pay attention.
Yes.
But you're coming along, Caffeine. You're making progress. I mean, it's flying these planes. It's not easy. And how many planes do you have that can fly right now? You have your Cybec and what else?
P-40 and Cardinal.
At least you have more than one.
When you have good airplanes, that's good.
Really scary.
Yeah, you got good planes.
Yeah, P-40 is almost finished because I need to glue the wing to the fuselage and and the step to the fuselage, and then after that, it's ready for its maiden.
Yeah. You know, when I fly, I don't really use too much of my arm. I'm not necessarily like how Brett Buck is, but I don't use my arm that much. So I use my wrist mostly. That's kind of how I fly the plane. My arm is moving. It's I'm really using my wrist.
Yep, that's what I do too, because previously I was using more of the arm, and but after I tried to use more of wrist, I can make that progress. So yeah, it's matter of, yeah, it's your preference, I guess.
It'll only take you a lifetime to work on, and you'll never master it. So don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that the
It's
truth?
so true.
Was
By the
Wendy
time you
So
think you got
true.
it almost finished, by the time you think you almost got it figured out, your
Uh-huh.
body lets you down and you can no
Yeah.
longer do.
Exactly right.
Well, I just
Yeah,
got
you can say that again.
Mm-hmm.
You can say that again.
Yeah.
It's always something, right?
Yep. That's
Yeah, you
right.
learn the pattern, then you spend the rest of your life trying to master it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Trying to
Well,
make
I'm
it
I'm
perfect.
uh-huh. Well, I'm trying to make as good as possible, because but since there's no competition here in Indonesia, so it's, yeah, I will take it easy. You know, it's for fun and sport. So
Well, get your
but
buddies. Get your buddies involved and get yourself some competition. Don't you have any friends that want to
You could
play?
be
yeah,
you could be
I'm
the
trying to
Indonesian
get
champion. I mean,
I'm
something to
trying to
aspire
get
to.
as many as people to join this sport, this stunt thing, but you know, it's kind of hard to do that here because most people are interested
In
flying
video
RC.
games. In what?
Yeah, video games, RC, or yeah, because RC is I think it's easier to find here, and it's much cheaper to get. All the stuff is available here for the RC, but control line is kind of hard to get.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
the
had
RC isn't very popular here anymore.
I
Nobody
had a
wants to do it
I
because
had a guy ask me
there's too
today.
many rules and regulations.
I had a guy
Okay.
ask me today,
Mm-hmm.
why do I like control line more than I like RC? The
Mm-hmm.
first thing I said was, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you can feel it. It's like, and you can't. That feeling is so unique. That is such a great feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the
Well,
I say
crash,
that to people
the
too,
crash
that
is still.
it's the closest you can get to flying a real airplane, actually, with a
yeah.
model.
Uh-huh. And
Got
what I like
that
about,
right, buddy.
yeah, yeah, the other thing that I like about control line, even though you're getting an ARF, it's still plenty of work you have to do. You can, yeah, you know, it's different from the RC ready to fly. It's really plug and play, and then you fly
Yeah.
it. An ARF control line, you still have to do the work.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
the thing you don't understand about an ARF is you learn a lot more when you try to build an airplane and make it straight and true,
yep.
and you know everything about
Mm-hmm.
lining it up and making it come out right. Because a lot
Yep.
of times when you set it up and you build it, it don't come out right. It'll come out twisted, come out
Yep.
crooked,
That's right.
cockeyed.
I
It won't fly right.
uh-huh. Uh-huh. I agree. So
Yeah.
that's why
So
I also have.
an ARF is actually a very good airplane for a beginner because there's a lot of work that
Mhm.
is involved that's not involved for the beginner.
Yep.
And a little bit of work that is involved is enough to
Mhm.
teach the beginner some simple things and you know how to set up a true airplane and a square airplane,
Mhm.
but it doesn't really give you all the you know the building blocks of I don't know. I've been trying to build them since I was a little kid, and I never
Yep.
have built a straight one yet.
Yeah, that's also right. I also have some. My Cardinal is built from kit, and then my Banshee is also built from kit. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's good to build our kit.
Did you
So
build
yeah,
it? Did you build them kits yourself? The Banshee and the Cardinal, did you build them yourself, or were they
yep,
built when you
yep,
purchased them, or you build them yourself?
yep. I did build it by myself. So
I'll tell you
I
what, if you can
know,
build a
I know.
Banshee straight, you can build anything.
Yeah.
That's the wickedest wing I ever built.
Mm-hmm.
That thing tries to warp at every.
Yeah.
Gee,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fun.
I have a comment from Stephen Smith. I believe this is the original Stephen Smith in St. Louis. He says, "Nope, one maneuver does not affect the scores of the subsequent maneuvers." Now, this is a Nats judge, and I think he's heading that judging committee. Mark, is that right?
Mhm.
So
That's what they'd like you to believe.
I just think it's human nature that if you see someone nail the pull out, and then even if they miss something on the loop, the next maneuver, they're going to give them some grace. I mean, slightly, as opposed to if you blow the pull out on a reverse wing over, and then you really hit the loop really good. I don't think you're going to come up as high because you've lowered yourself. That's just
You got to
my
have that on,
perception.
on top of your head there. You got to have that halo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that helps.
Yeah. Eggs are not loops.
But it should not affect your subsequent scores. I understand what you're saying, Stephen.
It shouldn't, but I bet you it does.
You know, something that's really hard to tell if you got a round loop, if you're inside a full size airplane, because they all look great from the inside.
Yeah, I can't imagine being inside the big tail if it's round.
Well, a real airplane doesn't do a round loop. It goes up like that and then falls over. It does like a weird looking loop.
Oh,
I
not
don't
if you're
know.
flying an extra 300 or something along those lines
I've
that I
seen
haven't
Not
had
if
the
Patty.
pleasure
it's
to.
not if it's got enough horsepower on the nose.
Yeah.
I've seen
My
Patty Wagstaff
Citabria,
fly.
that didn't have enough jam. I know darn well that I never came
Yeah.
close to a round
I've
loop.
seen Patty Wagstaff fly an extra 300 XLS, and I'm telling you, those loops were round.
Bro,
Yeah.
nothing that
She
flies
was
like
a heck.
300.
I
That's
don't
the
know if
best
she's still active or not. I
airplane in the
haven't
world.
heard anything over in years, but that woman could fly.
For one time, one at a time too. You guys got to hear the other people speaking and then stop. Let them say their bit, and then you go and come on back. They can't understand what you guys are saying when you're both talking on top of one
Yeah.
another. So try it again, Philip, and then hang on, Stephen Smith.
I said Patty Wagstaff could fly a round loop. I watched her fly at Winston-Salem Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and do her practice show on Friday, and then two days she put on shows for the audience. And I've never seen anybody fly rounder loops or fly. I mean, she was national champion that year, I know, but still, when they do that thing in the air where there's continuous rolling and they do a square cornered, I don't know what you call it when it's square, but it's out like this, except it's up over your head, and they're rolling the entire time, and you just can't find a flaw in it. That woman was the most amazing pilot I've ever seen. The two pilots that stand out in my mind, Patty Wagstaff for her whole pattern and the presentation of it. And then there was a guy that came here one year in an SU-31 and it was going to be his last air show. He got the flu and could not fly. The next year, he came back to the United States and did one air show, Winston-Salem. I have never seen anybody wow me like that. He took that big radial engine monstrosity and brought it down 20 feet off the ground, torque rolled it to the left, then torque rolled it to the right, and then took off straight up. I mean, this is full scale airplane, guys. This ain't a model. That SU-31 was incredible.
Bill, something that was a real treat for us was in 1988, we hosted the World's Championships here in Alberta. And Sparky said none of them can fly a round loop. There was none of them didn't fly a round loop. It was perfect. That was the first showing of the Su-26s in North America. And the Russian pilots were going all out. And it was just absolutely incredible. You know, Kermit Weeks was here with his solution. The 10-300 Ultimate was here with Gordon Price, and just all of the best. And, memories to treasure. But like you were saying, the rolling patterns. A good friend of mine here is an absolute master of that too. Bill Carter with his S2S, and he's one of the they call them aces for the air shows that evaluate all the other performers to be able to fly in an air show. And Bill is just absolutely amazing with his pits. Wow. Anyway, that's my 2 bits. I got to shut down for the night, guys. So
all right, hey, thank you, Bob.
Catch you on Friday.
I'll see you.
Yourself, Bob.
I know.
See you, Bob.
Bob, before you go, you left one guy out. Bob Hoover.
Yeah,
Bob
I never
Hoover.
got to personally see Bob Hoover.
You've never seen him?
Never seen him live. No, I did see Art Scholl a couple of times though.
Yeah, he was.
And I also
too.
saw Jim Franklin. Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, he was
Flying
good.
fish, right, Commander?
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Okay. On that note, catch you Friday, guys.
Catch you Friday, man.
Have a
Thanks.
good week, Bob.
See you, Bob.
Have a good night.
Was there something else you want to say, Gordon?
No, I just, I got to see him a couple times, and he was just, they said he was the best rudder man in the Air Force.
Okay.
He was shot down during the war. He escaped in a Russian airplane.
Oh, very cool.
And flew it back, and he was afraid he might get shot down, so he ditched it. But the instruments were not in the English language, so.
Who do you guys think has the best round maneuvers in control line?
What's that?
Which pilot in control line has the best round maneuvers?
I think David Fitzgerald's as good as I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dave Fitzgerald.
The one that stands out in my mind from memory from back was Les McDonald. He used to just be incredible. His whole presentation is something else from the time he walked on the field. But modern guys, Dave Fitzgerald.
I'll give you my top pick and tell you why. It's Bob Hunt. And then all you got to do is look at that Ukrainian guy's tracings. They lap perfectly on them tracings.
Yep, that's who I was gonna say was Bobby Hunt.
Bob Hunt has the best rounds of anybody I've ever seen. They're perfect on that line.
Wow.
Well, I won't argue with that. He's very good too. I figured if I said Bob, everybody'd think, "Oh, you just like Bob," but no, you're right. He does it. He does have really good rounds.
I can tell you, eggs are not loops, and I see plenty of eggs.
Oh, I see lots of eggs.
Footballs standing up like this.
I have some comments from Stephen Smith. He goes, "I'll give a good score on reverse wing overs, but if the loops or squares are substantial substandard, then they will be downgraded." And he goes, "Seen plenty of footballs rather than round loops. Rather than round loops.
Loops.
The NAS. I've been doing this all day, not just this show. I've been doing this all day. I was talking to someone earlier on the phone, and I was doing that. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on today.
Yeah, some days are just like that, Charles.
So Stephen Smith says Bob Hunt, David, and then he says, and Darren. Who is Darren?
Yeah, Derek's good. Derek Barry.
Derek Barry, he's got to be.
Maybe that's Derek. Okay.
Derek is very good. I'm totally mystified that Derek has gone as long as he's gone and not won the Nationals yet. Yeah. I just knew last year was his year, and it just didn't pan out. But I'm stunned.
It's gotta be very frustrating for him.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what: never, ever, ever count David Fitzgerald out.
Nope.
He is incredible.
Like a machine.
He is.
Now, what do you think about Hernandez? No one's mentioned.
Oh, he's amazing too. There's 4 of them that I don't think you could throw a handkerchief over. They're so close, it's just ridiculous.
Orestes has lightning turns.
Oh, he does.
But
well, I was flying with Orestes this weekend. He's got his airplane flies real well.
He was up there in LA?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, the basin. I guess the basin was closed or something this weekend.
Wow. I didn't know Aristides Hernandez was out here. I wonder what he's out here for.
I think it's him. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's Kestis. I'm sorry.
Yo,
Kestis.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah.
Orestes and Kestis. I'm sorry. I got them mixed up. I apologize. My bad.
No problem. Yeah, Kestis is a good pilot. Kestis is really good.
I don't know Kestis.
Nah.
I don't know him.
I think as time goes on, you will learn of him, Philip. He's
I'm sure.
Kestis flies
really,
well.
he's a really good builder. He's a really good builder. So
Well, I know at the Nationals we were talking about Orestes' airplane, and he said that it's got a flaw in the paint job. It's a simple paint job. Don't get me wrong. It's not near as complicated as some he's done in the past. But he said it's just got one flaw in it. I'm sitting there. All right, I don't mean that sounds stupid, but where the heck is it? He said, if you rub right here, you can feel where I had to paint over it again.
Wow.
You can't see that. You cannot see it. And Keith Trossel was the one that pointed it out to me. He said, if you feel right here, you'll feel it. Keith, that don't count. It's a visual thing. It's not a touchy-feely. It's a visual thing. The paint job's perfect as far as I'm concerned, but there was some others that were just as good. I mean, the one that won, one of the three that won concours or one, then nobody won. I mean, concours was won by Derek Berry, but one of the three that sat on the front row has been crashed 3 times. He's painted with epoxy paint. Another one sat on the front row, by the way, was Howard's airplane, which is absolutely, if you think it looks good in pictures, you need to see it in person. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
Howard calls it a dog, but I'm telling you what, that dog could hunt. That thing's beautiful.
Who's that guy who was he lives in your neighborhood somewhere?
Yeah, I can't call his name right now, but he lives down Charlotte. He actually lives just across the border into South Carolina.
Don Jenkins?
But
Don Jenkins.
No,
Airplane was
Don Jenkins, that's it.
It was really, really nice.
That thing's been crashed 3 times. That thing's been crashed 3 times. It started out as a PA-75.
Wow.
That's what you can do with a gallon of spray shine. Just lay it on there and sand it off. And it feels like it too. I think it's 80 ounces.
Yeah.
It's really good.
He did a nice job on it, no doubt. I'd like to have that dog in over to the right there behind Howard, just to the right of him. That's the old one. I still like that paint scheme. That thing's beautiful. That new one is just, I keep looking at the new one and it just changed. It's like my eyes won't focus on everything at once. It is so pretty, but it's too complicated for me. Howard's, I understand why it took you 3 months to paint that airplane now. Whew, man, there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
But it is pretty. I kept seeing you work on that airplane. I said, it can't be the same plane he's painting, but it was. Now I understand why. Wow.
Yeah. I published some tips from the Lone Jabber.
They're published where?
On Stunt Hangar.
Okay.
Well, I got to look for that tomorrow then.
Last finish tips from the Lone Jabber.
Hey.
Oh, okay. The Lone Jabber. That's pretty good.
That reminds me, I don't have a finishing moderator. You're it. How's that sound?
Congratulations, Howard.
No, you need to get somebody who knows what he's doing.
Well, yeah, right. You don't know. You know
Well,
exactly what you're doing.
Read those tips and you'll see.
I'm gonna make a point of reading those tomorrow. It's
I
supposed to
also
be windy as heck here in the morning, so we
I
won't be
also
able to
need
go
a
flying.
moderator for the in memory of area.
Yeah, a lot of your moderators are gone now.
Yeah, Schultze is gone, and
It's pretty well.
and they're hard to replace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a listing of Super 70s. You got Nostalgia 30, you got Classic, But I wish there was a list for Super 70s.
I've got a plane for Super 70s.
What's that?
I never did name it. It was just called Old Yeller.
Old Yeller.
Yeah, Bob White. I couldn't get Whitey and Bart off it. Every time I landed, they were refueling it. They run all of my stunt fuel out. I had to go to my 40% combat fuel.
Wow. Old Yeller.
Wow.
You have to show it to us.
Well, all you got left is the picture.
I got a couple Yeller airplanes that'll qualify for Super 70.
There you go.
Yeah, I was looking for one. And I came across a plane. I'm thinking about the Excitation by Ted Fancher.
Yeah, that would make it.
Yep.
That's from back in that era.
Is that flown anywhere but Tucson?
Yeah. Well, no, at the Las Vegas Stunt Challenge, they have Super 70s.
Guy, and I don't think they're out in it. Are they?
Was that out?
I hope they had two, because I made 2 trophies, I think, and it took a long time to make the second one. Because I messed it up at the patch it. It's like building a crashed airplane.
Oh Lord. Now we have 2 or 3 of them here. There's one here in North Carolina. There's one at Triple Tree, and there's one at Georgia.
Oh, they have Super 70?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we fly Super 70.
Well, guys, I gotta go.
All right, Sparky. Thanks for coming in.
No problem.
Take care of yourself, Sparky.
See you.
So, Phil, do you live in North Carolina?
Yes, sir. Right around Winston-Salem. I'm just south of Winston-Salem.
My daughter lives in South Carolina.
Mine does too. My youngest one. She lives in Columbia, West Columbia.
She lives in Manning.
Manning. Now I'll have to get the map out and look to see where that is. I don't know that one.
Well, she opens her hangar door out from her house, gets in an airplane, taxis out to the runway, and takes off.
Yeah.
Living the life, isn't she?
Yeah.
She is.
She is living the life.
Sounds like a plan.
Now, Rusty was from Columbia, South Carolina, right?
Yeah, he sure was. He was from Eastern Columbia, but yes, he was. He was about 3 miles from where my daughter used to live. The last time that I went down to see him, COVID had hit, and his wife didn't want anybody around because she didn't want anybody to bring him anything, which I completely understand. With my wife having gone through cancer and all, there was about 2 years there. I didn't want her around anybody because I didn't want anybody to bring her something. So completely understand. What I cannot understand right now, I've gotten in the last 2 weeks, I've gotten 3 friend requests. I've never been on Facebook until the last 2 months. And I've gotten 3 friend requests from Rusty Knowles.
Well, Rusty was Rusty Knowlton.
Yeah, I know it. Rusty Knowlton. I'm sorry. It's his picture. And he's holding a model airplane. He's holding a ring. I think it's a Ringmaster. I can't remember. I can't bring myself to look at it. I read that and I just have to change it because
you know that's not Rusty then.
Yeah, I can't.
No way it could be Rusty.
No,
I imagine his wife. She wouldn't. She'd use her own.
No, I don't think she'd do that. She wouldn't do that. She's not that kind of gal. I know her. She's a good lady. But anyway, sure took care of him.
I think look at Howard's plane here. Let's check this out. Hey, Howard, show me again.
Show us again, Howard. Where's the rest of it?
Oh no! Oh man!
I remember
that happened. That happened in the shop, right? Not at Circle One, right?
It happened in Circle One.
Oh, I'm so
what
sorry.
Happened?
So sorry to see that.
I wander out of the center of the circle and I hit things from time to time.
Damn, that's really unfortunate.
Ouch.
Well, kind of stupid.
Well, I do stupid things too, Howard. I hook my lines up backwards. I had never done that, and I had always wondered how How do you do that? I mean, all you do is check the lines. And I went out there and somebody had pulled one of my Hello Dolly clips off and put it back on the other line, and I didn't check. I went out there, I just knew, I only leave one clip on, one clip off. So if you go hook it up, it's got to be right? You go to the center of the circle and you get ready to launch. And I waited for launch and then pulled up and it went down to, oh crap. And I couldn't get it switched fast enough. Anyway.
Damn. So did the person tell you that they switched the lines, or I mean,
somebody else told me what happened later. I'm sitting there going, how can this possibly have happened? And then anyway, it's a long story, but
okay, that's really unfortunate.
Well, I couldn't understand. There was just two of us out there when I crashed it, and when Buddy let it go, I think he was more sick about it than I was. So, but it'll be flying again the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's one line longer than the other. That's pretty obvious when you hook it up wrong.
Well, yeah. But I always check my handle. I mean, Tommy heard what had happened, and first thing he said was, "You always give up in there. You've always fussed at me about that." I said, "I know, Tom. I don't know. If you say something or think you got it figured out and just skip one thing one time, it will bite you in the hiney."
Yeah,
and it did.
That's why we got to do the same thing every time we go out flying. You got to do the same exact thing.
That's the reason we call it a pattern. You got to get in a pattern and do it.
Yeah. I set my plane up, and the first thing I do is go up, and I just hold it, then make sure the elevator is up and the flaps is down.
Me too. And I check it and make sure they're free.
The first thing I do is go up and hold it. Because if you do this, sometimes your mind will play tricks on you. You think you got your lines right.
Yeah.
So you got to hold it up.
Yeah, I just didn't.
When you give the airplane up, the flap should be down, the elevator should be up. And when you give it down, the elevator should be down and the flap should be up. If you don't see that from the handle, you should go back and reset it and check it. And always, when you run your lines, you should run them out and then go back to the handle and check, and then go back and check your swivels. So you always run your lines not just once but 3 times when you set it up. That's how I do it. And
that's what I've always done, but I didn't, and it bit me.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you did one thing you didn't do that you do every time, and it got you.
Yeah,
that's too bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gordon.
I always stagger my lead outs 2 to 3 inches.
Yeah.
And if you hook them up backwards, when you pick that handle up, you know something's wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly right.
You won't ever tell them to release the airplane, because you know something's wrong when that's neutral.
Right.
Yes.
Look at Keith Trussell. He's lost how many chiselers and his Bearcat from hooking up wrong.
Well,
oh Lord.
If you intend to do that and you've got your lead outs, you got to cut them so one of them's long. If you cut the short one and then you go to cut the other one and think it's the short one, then you've got 2 short ones, then you've got equal length lead outs. And I've done that on the last 3 airplanes, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, it's good theory, Gordon, but doesn't work out.
Well, if you get them right on the airplane, you're not going to fly with them hooked up backwards on the lines, because your lines, one line will be shorter than the other one.
Yeah. Once or twice I was able to cut them right, so that I was able to do that, but not lately.
So what did you do? You end up making 2 short ones?
Yeah, I ended up making 2 short ones. So now I live in fear of getting my lines hooked up backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that on Bart Kopensky's Pathfinder a few years ago. He says, "Why don't you make up my lines while you're at it?" So I got my stuff out and was doing his lines, and I turned around, made up one, I pulled it, and I thought I had it pulled the other way, and I went clap, clip. We barely had enough to get it wrapped before it hit the eyelid on the airplane.
Yeah, it's easy to do, isn't it?
Oh, it is. especially on somebody else's airplane.
Now, if you have your lead out staggered, then I mean, can you switch lines? I mean, my planes are set up where they're pretty even. I can go out there and change lines on my planes without ever having to reset my neutral. They're all
that's how you end up hooking them up backwards sometime or another.
yeah.
With the
Yeah.
stack,
The lines,
I have
lines,
a set of lines for every single airplane.
that's exactly right. A set of lines should go for each airplane individually, all by itself.
And
I do.
I never take
Yeah.
the handles off my lines.
Oh,
I agree 100%. One set of lines and then one handle, one airplane.
Yep.
yeah. And I have that, but
Forever.
sometimes, depending upon the circumstance, I might want to put a shorter set of lines on there or a longer, and I will. I can pick up any lines in my set of lines, and I can put them on there and fly the plane without having to reset my neutral because they're all exactly. That's how all my flying lines are all exactly, just
You're better
incremental.
at doing lead outs than me then.
Yeah, because you got even lead outs.
I've never been able to get them that good. I'm always out by a 32nd or a 16th or something like that.
Yep, and
I
if
just don't get them that good.
have to be that.
Even with a set of even lead outs, you still offset the lines and you still get what Gordy's talking about. You still get that when you hook them up backwards, you can't, it's so distinguishable that there's no way you could take off with it upside down.
Yep.
When they're offset by 3 or 4 inches each.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
My thinking on that offsetting them, the beauty of that is the line clips are never equal, so they can't hang.
That too.
I saw somebody down at oh crap, it's in Georgia. I forgot the name of the place. Canton, Georgia. 2 different guys flew one airplane, and both of them the clips hung up. Now they both managed to get them loose, but that was scary. It was an axioma, and
yeah, Mike Lonke had experience in it.
That's who it was, Mike Lonke and Trayan on Mike's airplane. They both hung up. They were both able to get them loose, but I took mine, and mine are staggered. That's the only plane I've got. It's got staggered lines on it, and I've never flown the plane yet. But anyway,
Paul Walker does that all the time.
Yeah,
he has it staggered also.
No, his clips hit.
Oh, they're not staggered. Okay, all right.
He probably staggers them most of the time, but he's had a problem with the clips hitting.
I sure hate to see the dog sitting there damaged. Doggone it.
Yeah, it's that kind of guts you a little bit. Hey guys, I'm going to end the live stream. Thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate it so much, and we had a good show. Thank you, and hopefully we see you guys again Friday. Hopefully you have a chance to do some flying between now and then, or work on your shop, and be able to come back and tell us all about it. So until then, fair winds.